Going to see the next topic, that is population change. Okay, what is the meaning of population change? Let us see. Population change refers to the change in the number of people during a specific time. It may be 100 years or 500 years. In that, how many people, in the number, how it is increasing or decreasing. It change may be increasing change or decreasing change. That is not the matter, but in a specific time, how what is the change in the population. That may be in the age or the education qualification or sex, like that, everything it is included in that one. And the world population has not seen stable. It is not in a stable way. Every day it is changing, and it has increased manifold as seen the figure 6.3. Okay, we can see here in 6.3, from 500 BCE time to 2025, what is the population, like that. In BCE time it was only 100 million people, then slowly it is increasing, then up to 1500 it was only 425 million people. From that, just after 300 years, it is developed by it's doubling from 425 to 900 million. Then again after 100 years, we can see again it is near about doubled, like that, 1625. Then again after 50 years, it is increasing about 1000 million again. That is reaching to 2500 million people. And at present, means in 1919, that time it reached to 8 million 6 million people. And our expected growth rate in 2025, that is 8525 million people. Now almost we reached in 2020, again 5 more years we want to wait, we will reach in this rate or not. Okay, this is actually due to the change in the number of birth and death. Why it is changing every day? Because because the first change, it is according to the birth rate and death rate. For an extremely long period of human history, until 1800s, the world's period of population grew steadily but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too, because that time medicine was not developed that much, so the child death was very high in up to industrial revolution. Afterwards, it is that facilities are increasing, then death rate it is started to reduce. There were no popular health facilities. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirement of all the people. As the result, the total increase in the population was very low. Birth was there, but for example, if in India, in the time of even after independence also, the mortality rate or the death of the small children was very high. Then now after independence, or after 1980s, we are improving slowly. Still we are not reached in the level of zero infant mortality rate. Then in 1804, the world's population reached 1 billion. 150 years later, in 1959, the world's population reached 3 billion. From 1 billion, it taken only 150 years to reach to 3 billion. Means every 50 years, it is 1 billion people it is increasing. This is often called population explosion. Which one is known as the population explosion? The triple growth of the population from 1804 to 1959, it is known as the population explosion. That is from 1 billion to 3 billion. And 1999, 40 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies and medicine, death were reducing while the number of births still remained fairly high. Why it is doubled by 50 years? Because of the each and maximum area we are become the independent, and we started our own government, and each and every government started to give or try to give the better food to the people, better medical facilities to the people. That's why death rate it is decreased, but the birth rate was continuous in the same way. So the population it is doubled by 50 years, not only India, everywhere in the world, total population. And birth are usually measured using the birth rate. That is the number of the live births per 1,000 people. If 1,000 babies are getting birth, in that how many people, for 1,000 person, how many children are getting, according to that is known as the birth rate. Death rate usually measured the using of death rate, that is number of death per 1,000 people. Birth and death according to 1,000 people, how many people died or how many new babies born, that is known as the birth rate and death rate. The next point is migration, that is movement of people from people in or out of an area, that is known as migration. And it may be from Tamil Nadu we are moving to Mumbai or some other area in search of job, like that it is known as migration. And we can see again two types of migrations are there, in migration and out migration. To Mumbai, if you are thinking, in migration is more, many people they are coming and settling in Mumbai, but in our area, village area, we can see out migration, they are going out of the place. That part is coming, okay, we will discuss that time. Birth and death rate are the natural cause of the population change, and the difference between the birth rate and death rate of the country is called natural growth rate. Please underline the difference between the death rate and the death rate of the country is called natural growth rate. Why we are calling it like that? Because the population change it is depends upon the natural cause of birth and death rate, and there are other causes also. We have seen migration, like that things. Okay, the population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in the natural growth rate. We have seen natural growth already, that is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So population is increasing mainly due to the increase of the natural growth rate, because the number of death are very less in these days, and number of birth also increasing. That is the main reason for the population explosion or population increasing in the world. So if you are looking to our area, if you are speaking to your grandparents, they will say their experience like that, of how when they was in like a school going child as 8th standard, or that time means the 12 to 15 years in between, that time what was their experience as a person when they are reaching to 50-55, that is the time of the expected to die. That was the average of death years was that 50-55, that was. And now it is reached to 64-67, like that. And after when our children are growing, after our studies, when we are reaching to 40-50, that time it may be 80-90, like that. Even how the medicine and health facilities are increasing, according to that the lifetime also going to increase. And we can see here some pictures. Population increase when birth rate is high and death rate is very less. Present Indian situation, birth rate is very high and death rate is very less. That time we can see population increase. Then death rate and birth rate, when it is becoming in same way, 3 that time we can see the population in steady. Then when birth rate is very less and death rate is very high, that time we can see population decrease. Like Italy, like that countries having the same problem, birth rate is very less and death rate is very high. That's why they are having population decrease. Okay, then we are coming to the next one, that is the and in this, which one is balance of population? And this is the steady population study, that is the balanced one. We should have like that, the birth rate and death rate should be more or less equal, then only we can balance the population number in the world or in our country. Okay, next topic, it is migration. Migration is another way by which population size change. Only population size is going to change, not the total population. People may move within the country or between country. Immigrants are people who have leave the country, those who are going away from our country, that is known as immigrants. And immigrants are those who have arrived in our country, which people they are coming to our country, that is known as immigrants. Those who are going out of our country, that is known as immigrants. Countries like United States of America and Australia have gained in number of in migration or immigration. Some of the country they are getting many people. Even America now, the new president, before becoming the president itself, he said like that they are going to issue maximum green card to the people, those who are waiting for green card. Like that they are making the people in their own country by immigration. They are calling people to their own country. Then Sudan is an example of a country that have experienced a loss of population number due to out migration or immigration. Sudan, that is one of the country. Even in Indian some area we can see the maximum people they are going out of the a place and they are working somewhere else. Like that going is known as the out migration or emigration. So this is the changing of the population size only. The general trend of the international migration is from the less developed nations to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunities. Why people are going to America or Australia? Because of better job opportunity. So we can see that when the trend is the from the less developed area to maximum or developed countries, we are depending for our job purpose. Within the countries, large number of people may move from rural area to urban areas in search of employment, education and health facilities, that we already discussed what is the experience of our grandparents. Okay, we will continue next day. Thank you. Have a nice